Hi everybody. This video is to talk about how we can create a horoscope for someone that we don't know their birth data. We don't know their birth year. We may know the birthday, the day of the month and the month, but not the year. And to do a horoscope, you need to know the complete birth data, the year, the date, the complete date, the time of the birth, and the place of the birth of the person that we are going to create a horoscope. But how do we do that without knowing this information? Well, one way is through palmistry, which is by reading the person's hand. Another way, which is a lot easier, is face reading, which is another occult knowledge that we can learn. And you would be surprised how accurate it actually is. And I actually learned just a little bit of it. I didn't go deep into it, but it's not hard because it's not too much information. But we can read the lines in our forehead, the lines under our eyes and the shape of our eyes, the shape of our eyebrows, the separation between this space, the upper lip and the bottom of the nose, the space here, the space of the chin, all kinds of interesting things. But anyway, that's another way of doing, and I was able to do a little bit because you don't get a lot of details with this type of reading. It's just like a one sentence. Sometimes just a one word kind of prediction. What likely the type of that person, what likely type of person the individual you are looking at is. But you can actually do that also with a horoscope based on the person's appearance. And all you need to do really, and that is my conclusion in this occult knowledge that I have been studying since around 2013. That's when I first started with Vedic astrology, but then a couple of years later I realized that it was going to take the rest of my life to learn everything that is to learn about it, and I would still not learn everything even if I would live another 100 years. Anyway, so I kind of lost a little bit of hope in ever mastering, and I was never really interested in becoming an astrologer anyway. My interest was basically self-knowledge, and so I then pursue something more specific, and I enjoy learning palmistry, so I dedicated my time in these studies more specifically, and I enjoy very much. It's very accurate also. But anyway, if you learn the planets, their personality, their tendencies, basically their energy, what their energies represent, and so the type of influence they will have in our life collectively and on a personal basis also. So if you learn the personality, the tendencies, the energies of the planets, you basically learn everything you need to learn. That you can use the knowledge which is applicable in all these other occult knowledge, numerology, palmistry, astrology. It's all based really on the planets. So if you know the tendencies of the energies of the planets, based on the appearance of the person, you can imagine a horoscope that is likely to be one that would belong to that person. And what inspires me to to share this information is actually something that I am hoping, and let me make a parenthesis here. I'm hoping not to talk about this anymore because it has to do with a certain situation here where I live, which is for the most part is a very nice place, and most of the people are nice people, and they are just, regular people living their lives. They don't bother anybody. But that is a group of maybe a half or so dozen of people, most women, but couple males also are involved in, and they have created what I call a gossip club. And these people, most of them are out and about all day, every day, just minding everyone's business under the disguise of help. And so anyway, so that's how this situation became my reality, unfortunately, because I moved here and I became a target, actually, of malicious gossip by these people, because I don't wear masks, and I don't play games with anyone, and I certainly don't participate in gossip clubs, and I didn't come here to be a member of a club. I moved here to live a retired life. I never imagined in my life that a retirement community would be busy like this place here is. Like in front of my apartment, it's very high traffic of people all day, every day. I never expected this to be the case in a retirement community. The place actually where I moved from was way more quiet than here where I live, and they had children living there. Actually, my next door neighbors were 3 kids, and they were more quiet than these people here there. And it's like you can hardly go outside without bumping into them. It's very annoying. And of course, that also has to do with the fact that I have a security camera. So I'm looking at the camera, and that's another thing I need to stop doing it, because it's really consuming the best out of me, and it's kind of robbing the good energy out of me, and it's putting me in a irritable mood, and I'm like just annoyed with it's just a bunch of BS. They are just going about for no apparent reason other than just be out and about looking at what everybody's doing, really. But anyway, so there is a particular one who is which I call the chief member of the gossip club. She's the chief gossiper of them all. And what I mean by that is the worst, really. And when you say the term here in the United States, there is a term to when somebody has the devil in their mouth. It's like when only evil come out of their mouth. They talk evil about everybody, and they're always creating gossip and drama and anyway. So I noticed this about this person, right, out of the club, the gossip club, comprised of about 6 or 8, 10 people at the most, maybe a dozen, I would think, at the most. But there are like 6 of them that are the worst, particularly this woman. And so I have been wondering, because they distribute here. Okay, so the reason I am using her, because she's the most recent horoscope without knowing the birth data that I have used to come up with a horoscope for this person, to see if I understand the reason behind her behavior, because astrology explains everything. And actually, it's wonderful for self-knowledge, because if you learn certain things about yourself that is causing trouble, it's pissing everybody off, and then you look around and you have no friends, no family members. I don't see anybody coming to visit this woman. I mean, it's true that she lives on the other side from me, that I don't even get to see from here, but she's always here. She's always in front of my apartment. She walks in front of my camera like 10 times per day, every day, since I moved here. It's been 3 years now. But yeah, it's getting the best out of me. It's robbing the best out of me, and I need to quit paying attention to this, because it really doesn't matter. Well, the reason I put that camera up there out on my window to begin with was to surveil my car, because I can't lock my car. And also, well, I can, but I choose not to, because, the handles are getting old and fragile now, and so I don't lock, just in case they break off, and I can't get in, and so I don't lock my car. So I wanted to keep an eye on the car with the security camera, and also because it's an open public space. Anybody and everybody can walk right here, and I get packages. I shop online a lot, so I get my shopping deliveries, and I wanted to keep an eye on that. So that was in my mail, my packages, and my car. So those were the main purpose of this security camera. I never expected to catch all this high traffic of people. All this woman all day, every day. One of them walk her dog 20 times per day. Who does that? Who walks a dog 20 times per day? Oh, she must have health problems there. And she needs a handicap sign. Somebody who can actually walk more than I could when I was 20 years old. No. When I was 20 years old, I could dance all night, and for 3 nights straight. But yeah, I was like, wow, I mean, these people are kind of like, it got my attention, Yeah, busybodies just minding everyone's business, But yeah, so I decided to see if I could understand what's wrong with her, why she's like that, right? So anyway, they distribute. I was able to find her birthday only because they distribute. Okay, let me finish my parentheses. I never closed the parentheses. I'm sorry about that. I don't plan to be talking about this gossip club here anymore. I might talk about other things that are happy things, positive things. I just don't want to. I need to get my mind off this gossip club. I need to get my mind out of that. So, closing that parenthesis, I am using this as an example because it's the most recent one that I have I have done this to use physical appearance to come up with a horoscope for somebody. Well, in her case, if you know the planets, what they cause you, because depending on the kind of planetary influence you have in your first house, which is the house of your ascendant, then that will determine your physical appearance. Like if you have an influence of sun, you can have like light hair, light skin, and you can be like a bit egocentric, a little too much egocentric, and like authoritarian and bossy. You inherit the qualities of sun. You can also be a clean freak like me, or because I have sun conjunct to my ascendant lord, which is not in the first house, but it's kind of like if it was, because it's the first lord, the owner of my first house is conjunct with sun. So that makes me inherit a lot of the qualities of sun. And so anyway, but yeah, sun will do that. Sun can also make you bald if you are a man, but not necessarily. More likely if he is in your first house. But if he's conjunct your first lord, that is a possibility depending on other factors. So if it's the moon, which is my case, I have a moon in the first house, it can cause you to be chubby and to talk a lot, which is both my case. I talk my head off if you let me. I will never shut up. And I know I can be overwhelming. I apologize. I don't mean anything bad. But yeah, so you can, and if it's Mars, you are going to notice somebody like physically robust, strong, somebody who likes to work out, someone aggressive, short-tempered. You can, say that also applies for fire sign, like an Aries ascendant has that tendency. Also Scorpio people, those Scorpio people, they don't blow up as easily as Aries people do. But anyway, so I noticed this woman. She's tall and she is not overweight. I'm not gonna call her skinny. She's in a good shape, I would say. She's not fat by no means. So she's in an okay shape, and she's tall. So right there, you can probably tell that she is likely a Saturnian ascendant sign, either Aquarius, more likely. Aquarius are usually tall people, or Capricorn, or she is any other sign, but she has an influence of Saturn in her first house, either by conjunction with the first lord, or by an aspect from Saturn into the first house, or in a nakshatra. Saturn, it can be in a nakshatra that belongs to the first lord, something like that, some kind of association of Saturn, and the person can create somebody tall and likely skinny more towards it, but definitely not a fat person. But if he has an influence of Jupiter and the moon, then yeah, he can be a fat person, tall and fat. Okay. But anyway, so I noticed this woman has that. So I was able to come up with a chart for her, which I'm about to share. And it completely explained the reason she has this tendency for malicious gossiping, which is very sad, because she actually could use her speech for constructive things, like for teaching and, whatever she knows well, whatever she's good at, But yeah, let me share her chart with you all, and why I came up with what I came up with. Okay, this is her chart. I came up with this date because of a calendar that they distribute here every month, and they post the resident's birthday. I disagree with that kind of thing, but who am I, right? I asked them not to include my birthday in their calendar, and they don't. So my birthday is excluded, but they put the people's birthday in the calendar. So that's how I was able to see that her birthday is September 19th. But I didn't know the year until I asked someone here who knows her, and they told me how old she was, and that's how I was able to come up with the year. And the time is the time of the moment that I created this chart. Because in Vedic astrology, there is such a thing called pranayana horoscope, which is the horoscope of the question that you want to ask the universe. Is kind of like a tarot card reading. the moment of the energy of the moment dictates the horoscope of that one moment. So that's I think that's the reason of this time behind here. Okay, and coincidentally or not, it came up with a perfect ascendant, because look, not only she definitely has Saturn in her first house and is in Libra, which is the exaltation sign of Saturn, and he's at 24 degrees of Libra. I think let me see this, what is the degree? It's between 13 and 20, so he's already outside of the degree of exaltation. But anyway, he's in a good sign, he's in a friendly sign, and a sign that he gets exalted. But he's in the first house, which is considered the house of debilitation. So for that reason, Saturn cannot be considered in a wonderful position. It's in an okay position. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. In addition to that, it's conjunct to Moon, and that creates what is called a Vish Yoga Dosha, which is a blemish because Saturn does not like Moon. It's one of the enemy planets to Saturn. And Saturn can be considered, Saturn is a malefic planet, and it has like a poisoning energy to it. And it's known to be gloomy, negative, pessimist, and just gloomy, and so it poisons the mind with negativity, with toxic thinking. Okay, so this explains the reason behind her speech, which look who is in her house of speech, which is the second house, the house of your mouth. Okay, and it's Rahu there. Rahu is considered a demon, right? Is the head of a demon, and Ketu is the body of the demon that got his head cut off. And so it remained two parts, okay, the body and the head. So Rahu there, and literally when you say this woman has the devil in her mouth, it is true, okay, because this is confirmed here in her chart, in this horoscope. So I don't have any doubt in my mind that indeed this is a horoscope. And look, the Lord of her ascendant, which is Libra, is in the 12th house. So that means isolation. So that's why she's isolated from her family. You don't see her family around. You don't see nobody coming around for her. You see her going around everybody's apartment and minding everyone's business outside. But you don't see nobody coming for her. So yeah, this means isolation. It can also mean hospitalization. And Sun is there, which means authority. So she can actually get in trouble with authority. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's money related, because look, Mercury is there, and Mercury is in his own sign of exaltation. So Mercury is exalted in the 12th house, so there is some kind of sexual issue about her. Yeah. She has some kind of sexual issue. Maybe she's a closet lesbian, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and she has Jupiter exalted, which is good. However, is in the 10th house, which is the house of debilitation. So the same case of Saturn. Both planets are exalted, which is wonderful, and they are in kindred houses, which is also wonderful. But these houses are houses of debilitation for these planets. So that takes 1 point away from these wonderful points. But yeah, she doesn't have a terrible chart. She has a Kal Sarpa Yoga, which it's not taken into consideration by some older astrologers, but that creates issues exactly with her speech. She has her foot in her mouth, and she always gets in trouble because of her mouth, because of the poison that comes out of her mouth. Yeah. So she makes enmity because of that. She loses money because of that. She can get in trouble with money. She can get in legal trouble. She can be prosecuted because of money related. Probably she steals from the government. I wouldn't be surprised, I would, because look, the second house is also the house of money, house of income. And when you have Rahu there, he will make money by crook and by hook and by crook if he needs to. He'll make money, he doesn't care how, by whatever way he needs to. So yeah, she can definitely get in trouble with money-related issues. I wouldn't trust her with my money or anything, really. But she has a lot of good things too, look. Look all these yogas that she has. The biggest success in her house is actually renunciation from material comforts. Yeah, you see, she might actually have to do that. Something will happen to her here, she will have to do some kind of penance. She'll probably be found guilty of some kind of theft of government money, and will be forced. She might not get jail time, but she'll be forced to pay back. And if she doesn't, then she'll go to jail. But I would expect something more likely like that to happen than jail time for an old woman. I think she's 70, right? Yeah. But yeah, you see, she has a lot of good things in her horoscope that she could explore and correct this bad habit that she has here that can actually land her in legal trouble, I wouldn't be surprised if she robs this elderly woman here. I would not be surprised. No, one bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it has an aspect of Mars, which makes matters even worse. She has a very aggressive, hurtful speech, and she's vindictive with it. She'll do it purely out of vindictiveness. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, let me go back to the other screen. Yeah, like I said, we can totally put a horoscope in someone's that you don't know their birth data just based on their physical appearance, and also by the way they act, the way, like in this case for this woman, that chart completely fits her, right? Because it shows the devil in her mouth, which is completely true. That's confirmed by Vedic astrology now. Now we all know what her problem is. She definitely has a devil in her mouth. But, you need to exercise that devil, or use for a good purpose. Use to denounce criminals. That would be a good purpose, right? It takes a devil to put down another devil, right? She could use it for that. You see, Vedic astrology is wonderful for self-knowledge, primarily, in my opinion, and also as a lamp in your path that you otherwise will have to rely on your intuition, which is actually the best, because all my life up until when I started learning astrology, I rely on my intuition. I still do. I didn't substitute my intuition for occult sciences. I enhanced my intuition, with the occult science. Usually, I just have these hinges that I just have this, I don't know where, knowledge that something's gonna happen. I don't know when or how. I just know that something is gonna happen. I usually know what's gonna happen, I just don't know how and exactly when. But usually it's not too long after. Yeah, within a month or 3 months at the most, I would think. Or not even. But yeah, so this is the explanation, right, for this particular person's behavior. It is completely described in this horoscope, which I am convinced to be her horoscope. And if she's not careful, she can actually get in some kind of legal trouble, as we all saw, because every time you have planets in the 12th house, it activates their house, and it's a house of losses, which can include your life, it can include your health, it can include your soul, actually, also, Although, this is based on belief, because there is no such a thing as the loss of a soul. The soul never gets lost. But if you believe it does, then you will live what it believes, right? So it's really based on your own beliefs. But, yeah, and if you die believing in those beliefs, then you're going to leave them. Yeah. So be very careful what you believe. Make sure it's true to begin with. And if it's negative, I would take it with a grain of salt. And I would research further, because usually the source of negative beliefs have themselves as the beneficiaries of these beliefs that they create, So be very mindful of that. But yeah, so this was my little take here regarding how you can put a horoscope in someone that you don't know their birth data. You have to know the planets. You have to learn the nature, the energies of the planets. And once you do that, then you can imagine what kind of energies influence that person in her birth to give those tendencies that she has. And also in appearance, like I said, Saturn makes someone tall and generally skinny. Jupiter makes the opposite, makes someone obese, can be tall or short. It depends. Like Moon will make you more likely to be short, like is my case. I'm by no means, I'm not tall at all. I'm not short, but I'm not tall either. I'm kind of in between there somewhere. And but yeah, so I don't want to talk about this gossip club here anymore. I want to free my mind from these thoughts of this gossip stupid club, that I got sucked into this energy, that because of my security camera, I keep looking at it. So, but I'm going to do something about this, because I want to shift my attention to other things. Yeah, I am editing my book that I translated from a tricentennial book about Vedic palmistry, and I transliterated the book, and not entirely. I added some other things to it also. And I am editing right now. I have a helper now. Someone is helping me with the editing, because the book was transliterated to Portuguese, and my Portuguese is somewhat rusty right now, and so I translated things that don't make exactly a very clear sense in Portuguese. So he's helping me with those things. So yeah, I have this project going on, and then I have been making live videos to answer questions, and but nobody's really showing up other than a couple people. One guy, he's always helping me with those type of videos. He's been doing that for a while now. He's a good friend, a virtual friend we met on YouTube, and he's very sweet to me and always helping me with these videos. And so I have been making these videos, but I'm going to make only 2 more. I said I would make 6 of them. If nobody shows up, then I'm going to quit. But I have another idea of videos that I might try to start making. I'm still thinking about it, because quite frankly, I don't have the same motivation I used to have anymore to make videos, and most of them just serve to feed plagiarists and content thieves, that they just come to look for knowledge that they don't have, and they possess that knowledge and run with it, and then twist the knowledge and make it sound like something special that they just discover. It's so disgusting, really. No wonder that a lot of sacred knowledge is actually hidden from the public to avoid this type of corruption, and literally a prostitution of that which is sacred or supposed to be sacred. It becomes an object of commerce, and people are willing to do anything and everything to make money, using sacred knowledge as a tool. It's sad. But yeah, okay, well, I hope this was helpful, and like I said, I'm not going to be talking about this gossip club anymore, and and I keep saying that, right? And but I want to continue talking about the occult sciences that I study and I enjoy, and I find them not only entertaining but very helpful, particularly for self-knowledge and also for predicting what is ahead, what can likely happen. Although I don't believe anything is written in stones, I think we have the power to change the future if we want to. And Vedic astrology has an entire industry selling remedies, and if they didn't believe in the remedies as that, right, to fix this future that you don't want or you want to minimize, then what would be the point of the remedies, right? So I don't believe anything is written in stones and everything is subject to change except that, right? That's what I learned from the ETs. That's what they say. Every action changes another action. Yeah. Alright guys, well I hope this was helpful, and we'll continue talking about whatever comes to mind. And in the meantime, I hope you all stay well and be good, and have a good one. Bye for now. Hi everybody. This is the first time I make this kind of video. It's about cards, and I picked some cards relating to a subject that I am very much interested in, which is healing. And these cards were created by an indigenous woman who lives in Canada. Her name is Asha Frost. And you can get the cards. I'll put the link below in the description of this video. Okay, you can get the cards on Amazon. That's where I bought it, or in her website. Anyway, so I'm going to use her cards to pull a card and see what it says, and take it from there and see what happens. I bought a few decks of cards recently. I don't know why I have been inspired to read cards lately, particularly the tarot, which I never really like to rely on random things like that. Although our intuition is usually random, right? And that doesn't mean it's not accurate, because my intuition never lies to me, and I can totally believe it. Alright, now I'm going to pick a card. Recognize your beauty. When this elegant bird glides into your cards, you are asked to honor the beauty and grace that lives within you. Oh, how nice. Elder Swan journeys with you, recalling all the times in your life that you compared yourself to impossible societal standards. Oh my gosh, that woman needs to read this. I hope she's watching this video. You see, you don't have to be a gossiper to feel bad about yourself. You need to look. Okay, that's what her problem is. Her problem is she feels bad about herself. So that's why she talks bad about others. You see, you need to look into yourself. You stop comparing yourself with others and try to find the beauty that exists within you. And do not let societal standards to decide what is beauty to you. Okay? You are asked to connect with your sacred body and welcome the medicine of forgiveness for any critical or harsh words you have directed toward it. You see? Oh, how fitting. This is so totally fitting. Elder Swan glides around you, creating circles of healing energy that clear out any negative beliefs that you have carried about yourself. Systems of oppression have caused you to see yourself through this lens. It is not your fault. Swan reminds you that your perceived flaws make you who you are. Everything you judge about yourself is a part of your unique and brilliant essence, and it's time to embrace all of the parts of you that you reject. In a world that is so focused on outer appearances, Elder Swan reminds you to see the poise you hold and the grace that flows from your heart. You are an incredibly beautiful soul, and Swan reminds you of the light that shines from within. It's time to step into the fullness of yourself and stand with dignity and trust. Your presence matters, and when you love yourself from the inside out, the whole world is touched by your vibration. You see, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. When we radiate a positive energy, we influence the world in such a more positive way. And then life becomes so much better for not only ourselves, but everyone around us, really. This is so beautiful, you know. You see, Cindy, you need to try to see the beauty within you instead of trying to do that by putting others down, you know. Yeah, that's what you need to do. That's what I recommend, to look at the beauty that you're going to find inside of yourself. And that will heal you. And then to close the chapter here of this little book, the Elder Swan speaks now. Call upon me during the times when you look in the mirror and feel like you are not good enough. When shame arises about your physical body, allow me to touch your heart and the spirit with grace. I shall remind you of your beauty and help to unwind the harmful narratives that swirl around your thoughts. Look to my majestic posture and long neck when you want to embrace your inner and outer beauty. I am a reflection of you, and it's time to welcome your whole self. You see? That was the message of the Swan Spirit, the Elder Swan Spirit, to you. I hope this was helpful. So instead of looking for the beauty within you by putting others down, which unfortunately a lot of us do that, right? But I don't think that's helping anyone. So how about if we stop doing that and we start looking for the beauty within ourselves? You're going to find so much about you that is unique that nobody else has, only you have it. And then explore that, use that to your advantage and to the advantage of others. And so you can be happy. And out of that happiness, the whole world will also be, because that's what you're going to irradiate, the energy of happiness. And that's contagious, isn't it? Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. and I think I'm going to continue making more videos like this. I really enjoyed this card reading, didn't you? I really liked it. Sorry for the mistake in the beginning, but I think I fixed it. Alright, until next time. Bye for now.